कुमार स्वामी नायक गोंगो लुगु लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Good evening, Fiji. In this bulletin, occupants of PRB flats warned. Company told to redo road at own cost. And PM expresses joy at children attending school.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
A thorough assessment is being carried out by the Housing Authority to ensure that only those who qualify are occupying the public rental board flats. Housing Minister Pramila Kumar says recent discoveries have been made that some Fijians have rented their houses in informal settlements while staying in PRB flats. For instance, some Fijians have houses in Suva but are staying in PRB flats in Lambasa. Pranita Prakash has more.
The Housing Minister says they are dealing with some dishonest PRB tenants.
In PRB flat, you only pay $20 or maybe a little higher, depending upon your income. And whereas you are earning more money by putting your house on rent. Now, this is not profiteering, it should not be seen as a place to profiteer and make money. No. It's strange that the tenants are making money and not PRB. If anyone who should be making money is PRB. So that they can make more and more rental apartments.
Kumar says they are also reviewing their policy.
Right? So the form that we will be circulating to the various estates, it says very clearly that if you're going to lie on that form, you're not going to disclose the correct information, then you will be charged under crimes decree.
Some PRB tenants have requested for assistance in acquiring a land.
Those who can consider to buy, then it is a very good idea for the people to move. Because nowadays we can't find the land, it's very hard.
PRB tenants can be located to a housing authority block where we are eligibility to buy, so that we can buy and move out from here and give other people chance.
The Housing Minister says public rental flats are not permanent homes and is urging tenants to become independent. Kumar says some families have been living in the PRB flats for generations. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
The local government minister says every application for housing flats or land will now be thoroughly assessed by the board. Minister Pramila Kumar highlighted this while visiting the settlements in PRB flats in Lambasa, while highlighting the fraudulent activities at the Housing Authority in relation to lot allotments. Kumar says similar problems in PRB flats have also surfaced. Some tenants have not been disclosing correct information.
Now onwards, every flat that is allocated or any land that is allocated, it will be approved by the board. So all the checks will be made. One of the biggest problem that we found in Housing Authority was that when people applied for a block, a thorough check was not made.
Kasanji Street in Suva is now being fixed by the contractors at their own cost following the appearance of potholes on the newly refurbished road. The Fiji Roads Authority says it identified some issues with the surfacing of the road and raised their concerns with the contractor. Kritika Kumar has the details.
Contractors not adhering to repair methods that is supposed to be followed will not be spared, says FRA.
It's not just from public. We have taken the thing to a contractor as to what had happened, and they are doing all the repairs at their own cost. So we're not paying anything. We told them what the repair method's supposed to be, and they are doing the thing at their own cost. So you'll see that there are some works done 2 nights ago.
The Fiji Roads Authority has confirmed that in next 6 to 8 months, it will be doing the rehabilitation on Kasanji Street.
A few more works to be done to get the thing up to the level of service that's required. What's happening on that road is almost a holding strategy, because we've got these Sedelpa 2 projects that'll come out, and Kasanji is one of the roads that will be upgraded as part of Sedelpa 2 works.
And while works continue, Fijians say the pothole issue is fast becoming an eyesore.
As we all know, we're all riding on the vehicle every day. There's a lot of bumping here and there.
The roads are damaging the vehicles.
Road issues is a recurring problem, and I think we should relook at how we are fixing our roads.
The FRA since Monday is also carrying out roadworks on the severely deteriorated sections of roads in the Central Division. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
The lack of counselling for perpetrators is one of the contributing factors to recurring domestic violence cases. The issue topped a panel discussion on promising practices for preventing and eliminating violence against women and girls by various feminist organisations. Chasaina Nunga reports.
The Medical Services Pacific has counselled few domestic violence offenders following approval from court.
Provide support to the perpetrator families and the families, because many a times they come up and say they were not ready for this. Why me? Why us? He's the breadwinner, and this is the dilemma.
The Pacific Center for Peace Building aims to strengthen its offender programs so that more males can become advocates to help eliminate violence in the society.
Going beyond that, what we also do is work with victims of crime. And again, restorative justice tools are shared with them. And when we find that the parties have come to a space where they're managing themselves, we bring them to a space where they can have conversations with each other.
Pacific Women Gender Advisor Tara Chetty believes many relevant organizations still have limited resources to address these issues.
Even with existing resources, it's not possible to reach or serve all of those who have experienced violence or to make them safe. For example, things like safe houses are particularly expensive. So that has been the challenge where organizations, I believe, make those decisions, and certainly the organizations I've been part of in the past have made those very hard decisions around resourcing.
The Fiji Women Crisis Center earlier confirmed that over 500 calls relating to domestic violence were received in the first half of the year, while the Women Ministry has so far registered 1,545 cases of assault against women through the National Domestic Violence Helpline 1560. Chasaina Nunga, FBC News.
Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama says seeing students able to study, attend classes and be with their friends during this difficult period is an indication that the future remains bright. While opening a new classroom block at Nandi Muslim Primary School today, Bainimarama stressed that Fiji is one of the few countries in the world where a new school building can be safely open for its students. Details with Felipe Naikaso.
The Prime Minister stated that no matter how tough times will get from the pandemic, they will always be supportive of students' education.
I see the potential of a united Fiji in the eyes of every one of our students. Together, they are bettering themselves and their nation through education.
Bainimarama also says Fijians should always be supportive of each other, regardless of our differences.
When Fijians stand united, when we support one another, we are at our very best. Despite our differences, we all sing the same anthem. We all wave the same flag. And we all want the same great things for our country. Together, there is nothing we cannot achieve.
Meanwhile, the new 3-story classroom was a need for the school.
We are planning to have a fully fledged computer room and a library, and as well as we have 2 language rooms here. So there are in total 12 classrooms in this 3-story building.
The cost of the total project was more than $1 million. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
Up ahead, Methodist Church to help people out of poverty. And ministry ramps up disaster awareness campaign.
Baik tu dia jadi biar tahu रेडियो फिजी बहुत रेडियो फिजी रोज सुनता हूँ.
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
Police Police officers have had to send students home in recent days after instances of gathering in large numbers and heated exchanges. The incidents happened at the Suva bus stand between students of different schools. Police say the situation could have worsened and turned into a brawl, but they stepped in with other stakeholders. The police are requesting parents, guardians and teachers to talk to students about the consequences of getting involved in fights and brawls. The force is also meeting with the Suva City Council to put in place measures to assist in the monitoring of the movement of students to ensure no one is found loitering in these areas. The Methodist Church of Fiji has raised concerns that many of its congregation members are living below the poverty line. The church believes they have one of the biggest numbers when it comes to members living in poverty. Apanisa Wangarandova reports the church is hosting a workshop for its ministers to educate them on how they can help members of their congregations make a living.
The church has over 300,000 members, and while many of them own resources, they are not making use of it.
The church is very rich in resources, natural resources, the land, the seas, with all its resources. But how we manage it and how we can turn it to better living, to better life for our people. That is what comes out in our presentation today. We are very concerned with the poverty.
Reverend Dr. Vakandewa Vosa says they want to have a part in finding a way out of poverty for these members.
In fact, many of our members are landowners in the Vanua and the land, and they have good access. The church has good access to its members, who can be encouraged to use these resources very well for the betterment of their families, betterment of the people, betterment of the society.
Church General Secretary Reverend Ilivuli Suai says members are responsible for getting themselves out of the poverty trap, and the church can only do what it can.
Help them to be aware of the current poverty situation we are in, and try and be the channel of change and to change the mindset, and as well as encourage them to develop their resources.
The training of church ministers will conclude tomorrow. Apanisa Wangarandova, FBC News.
Fijian communities are at the forefront facing direct impacts of climate change, including high-intensity cyclones. A week away from the beginning of Fiji's cyclone season, the Minister for Disaster Management says they will be conducting more awareness on disaster risk reduction to prepare for the next 6 months. Koroi Tandalala reports the NDMO launched Disaster Awareness Week in Ba today.
The National Disaster Management teams have conducted over 300 training sessions around the country on how to prevent disaster casualties.
From 2007 to 2019, a total of 64 deaths were recorded that were cyclone related. Of that, 26 were drowning related incidents. Of the 26, 17 drowning victims reported from the Western Division.
In collaboration with the NDMO, the Ministry of Health also launched its LTDD campaign in Ba today to ensure Fijians are aware of communicable diseases that spread during this season.
Leptospirosis, typhoid, dengue, and diarrheal diseases is always an issue that we face in the Ministry of Health. And we are very grateful that we are launching this together with our important stakeholders from other government ministries, because we need their support to be able to contain this. We need also their support to be able to fight this in the community.
The NDMO and the Ministry of Health will be working together to ensure Fijians are equipped with the skills and knowledge needed during cyclone season. Koroi Tandalala, FBC News.
Senior member of the Social Democratic Liberal Party, Pio Tambaiwalu, has passed away. Sedelpa's General Secretary Emelen Duituturanga has confirmed his death to FBC News. Sedelpa says they have lost a towering figure who was more than once the conscience keeper of the party. Tambaiwalu was instrumental in founding Sedelpa and was the party's first General Secretary. He had also recently applied for the leadership position with 4 other candidates vying for the position, including Sitiveni Rambuka, Viliame Ngavoka, Seri Randronro and Ro Filipe Tuisawao. The Fiji Bureau of Statistics is prioritising the safety of its enumerators by carrying out public awareness on the upcoming multi-indicator cluster survey. Chief Executive Kimaweli Naingama says community awareness began yesterday, so the public will be aware of when the enumerators pay a visit. Naingama has assured the enumerators will be given specialised training to carry out the survey.
We find that it's always useful to have a good awareness program. Through good awareness, people are well informed on the purpose of the data that we try and collect from the general public and how it's going to be utilized for development planning purposes.
And Alpinisa joins us now with the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Coming up, more businesses register with FRCS and fashion show to be held in support of Pinktober. Stay with us.
Pula nadang ko approach lang kerse, ko erkraki, do televisi na barong na Radio Fiji 1 nandomo ibit.
Radio Fiji 1 nandomo ibit.
The Fiji Revenue and Customs Services has noted an increase in the number of emerging businesses coming to register with them in the past 8 months. Revenue Management Director Farzul Rahman says by registering the new businesses are ensuring they are on the right side of the law by complying with the tax office's policies.
There are taxpayers who like to apply for loans or who has been given loans. They have registered their business and they want to access such loans. So yes, we have seen a pickup in the registration by small businesses.
Rahman adds they are also administering the micro, small and medium enterprises loans. Digicel Fiji today reintroduced its brand with a new global logo and a new slogan, Better Together. The telecommunications company announced that the new Digicel Prime all-in bundles will also cater for the 3 new apps that were launched. Chief Executive Farid Mohammed says this change is a part of their promise as a digital operator to deliver the best network.
We have brought about changes in how we work in the different countries that we are in, how we interact with our customers, the product sets that we bring to our customers, and as part of that, we are coming out with a new brand look as well. So, as you mentioned, we have a new brand look, which you can see comes with a logo.
The 3 new apps are D-Music for music, Beep for messaging, video and voice calling, and Below for cloud storage. We now join Sharon from HFC Bank with the latest from the stock market.
The US dollar hit a 1-month low against a basket of major currencies as investors awaited the outcome of fiscal stimulus talks ahead of the upcoming US presidential election. If US policymakers manage to agree on fiscal deal, the dollar could edge lower, especially against commodity-sensitive currencies. On the data front, US single-family home building surged to a 13-year high in September. The data suggests construction is blazing a trail as the economy normalizes. In Australia, retail sales dropped 1.5% in September. Sales were down in all states and territories except for the Northern Territory. This was their first back-to-back monthly decline this year. Meanwhile, the Chinese yuan surged to its strongest level against the dollar in more than 2 years on growing optimism about China's economy and speculation that a victory for US Democrat presidential candidate Joe Biden next month will lead to better Sino-US ties. And that's all from your HFC Bank for now. Vinaka.
Here today's local exchange rates as set early this morning. The Fiji dollar did well against regional currencies overnight, rising against the Aussie and Kiwi dollars as well as the PNG Kina, but slipped somewhat against the major international currencies. Prices were up on the commodities market. Oil continues to hold just above $40 a barrel. Gold increased by $20 to $1,980, $18 per ounce, and silver closed higher at $24.98 per ounce. A fashion show has been organized by Samson Lee this weekend in a bid to continue the fight against cancer. Hosted by the Radisson Blue Resort, Proceeds from the one-night event will go to the Fiji Cancer Society for Pinktober. Philippe Nkaso has more.
The organizers are hoping that the fashion show will be a platform to advocate for Pinktober this month.
As part of the fashion show that's happening, not only will we have, we've been selling tables, we've been selling seats for the fashion show, but we'll also have items that will be up for auction.
The event will be held here at the Radisson, where they have become accustomed to the new norm of the pandemic.
The hotel has always been open, we never closed it, and I think that this event and the breast cancer is important enough for us to, even though we are financially, limited.
They're expected to raise a significant amount of money, which will aid in the fight against this killer disease.
Fashion is an integral part of our country and our industry. But I think the difference with this is this fashion show is specifically being held for Pinktober.
Well, the staff are very excited about it. They already have, their uniforms are ready, everything is ready, lighting is ready, decoration is ready. We're just waiting for Saturday.
The show has also been fully booked for Saturday night. Philippe Nkaso, FBC News.
That's all from business tonight. Jamie joins you now with the latest from sports.
Vinakapanisa and good evening in sports tonight. Bangasao community ready for NRL Grand Final. And Rewa prop still going strong at 40. This and more coming up.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.
Hype is building for this weekend's NRL Grand Final, not just in Australia, but here at home as well. Particularly for a small community in Suva that's planned for a Purple Sunday to cheer on their favorite Melbourne Storm player. Aquiladama has more.
It's one of the toughest neighborhoods in Suva, and this is where Suliasi Vunivalu was raised.
Growing up in a place like Bangasau is quite challenging, especially with peer pressure. You know, there's a lot of drinking and smoking, so it's very hard being raised here.
However, with all the negativity and history about Mbangasau, Vunivalu's success gave residents and those familiar with this place something to smile about.
We try every day to change the perception and image about Bangasau because of what this place is known for. However, we are thankful that Suli portrayed a positive picture.
Vunivalu's family, friends and relatives are now planning something special for the grand final. After the semi-final win, Suli's friends started having discussions about what we have to do this week. We're thinking of hiring the community hall and watching the grand final together. There are also plans for us to buy Melbourne Storm merchandise so we can all wear on Sunday. This is all we can do to show our support for Suli and the Storm, as this is his last year with them. Whether the result will go the Storm's way on Sunday or not, the impact of Suliasi Vunivalu's success will surely be a part of Mbangasau's history. Aquiladama, FBC Sports.
Rewa will field one of the oldest players in the Vodafone Vanua Cup final against Northland on Saturday. After guiding Rewa back into the 2021 Skipper Cup, 40-year-old captain Iokombo Mbose is eager to end the season with a win. Caroline Tavi has more.
Rewa prop Iokombo Mbose stood by his team when they were relegated to the Vanua Cup last year, and he made it his mission to bring his team back to the Skipper Cup.
So this is my second team. I took down last year and I managed to take it up again. That's a history for me for my rugby career, and that's the end. Maybe that's the end of my rugby career.
Rewa met Northland twice during the pool matches, recording a win each. The former Namosi prop says the final will be a decider on which team will top the 2020 Vodafone Vanua Cup.
They played twice, so they won the first game and we won the second game. So this must be a big final for us, because we want to maintain that the mission that we had going through for this whole tournament.
The Rewa rugby side will be banking on its strong forwards come game day.
Some big boys in the forward, they've got a big pack. Their backline as well, they're fast. So across the board, they have a good team. We played them twice this year, and I think by now we have a good idea of what their strengths are and their weaknesses as well. And in saying that, they've got a good coach as well.
Northland meets Rewa on Saturday at Lawanga Park in Singatoka at 3 p.m. Karleni Tavi, FBC Sports.
The Nandi football team is using its local league tournament as build-up to prepare players for its VPL clash with Mba. Coach Kamal Swami using a match last night to give players some game time. The Jet Setters, who currently sit fourth on the ladder with 6 wins and 5 losses, will be aiming to get back on track following a dismal IDC tournament.
We've been preparing from last week. Coming into this week, as you can see, we had our local league started off before IDC, but most of the players got the rest before IDC. But today we had our local league, and to also give some game time to the boys, giving them momentum before we head to the game this Saturday against Ba.
Nandi take on Ba 3 p.m. Saturday at the Fiji FA Academy grounds. Making the national squad will be no walk in the park for senior netters participating in the 2020 Punja's Digital Reset Championship. The competition doubles up as trials for the Fiji Pearls squad. Punja's Stingray captain Alisi Ngalo, who is chasing the center position, says making the final squad will be tough as many younger netters are showing a lot of class in the competition.
There's a lot of competition, especially on, all the attacking third and defending third. It's very hard because there are young talents coming in and they're very good.
All those involved in the Kiran boxing promotion event are now counting down the days to the show. The belt for the main bout between Chese the Hitman Rabundi and Ronald the Terminator Naidu arrived yesterday, adding to the hype. The two boxers will fight it out for the WBF Asia Pacific Super Welterweight title. The event will be held on the 14th of next month at Prince Charles Park, Nandi.
This is an immense achievement towards the professional boxing in Fiji, and I hope all of you will come in numbers to support and enjoy this boxing event, and it is expected to become be a thriller.
Being tagged favorites in the Cricket Fiji Challenge Cup has not put any added pressure on the Suva cricket team, laced with a number of national reps including Chone Wesele, Penin Dakai and Metuisela Mbeitaki. The team aims to improve its fitness and just take it one game at a time. Tali Matarakula reports.
The Suva side wants to create history by being the first team to lay hands on the Association Challenge Cup.
I don't see any pressure against anything. And team Suva, we are all prepared to take the pressure. We are prepared to meet any teams coming from the island.
The former national coach says players need to be mentally prepared for the challenge.
I already talked to the players, just the mindset. I want to change the mindset of the players. You believe in themselves and don't underestimate any teams. We just work together as a team.
The team's biggest challenge is to get their fitness up to par before taking on the other cricket giants.
Our biggest challenge was when we stopped training due to the closure of our training ground, and now we're just focusing on getting our fitness back before we meet some teams from the islands, and we won't take them lightly.
Suva Cricket will take on the Via tomorrow and Lakemba in their last pool match on Friday. Tali Materukula, FBC Sports.
That's it from Sports Tonight and New Media. After the break, Sweden bans Huawei, putting Ericsson at risk of blowback. This and more after the break.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.
And Angie joins us now with the latest in weather.
Good evening and welcome to the Weather World. Now, apologies for the weather. It's pretty confusing at the moment, and it's more confusing on what to wear as one moment gets you warm and the next gets you freezing cold. Well, that could be the story for the night as the sun sets. Moving on, let's see how the weather was in different centers today. The west had lovely conditions. It was fairly dry, just ups and downs in temps, but all good and clear. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, different story here. The clouds were really getting to it, spreading coolness everywhere. And up north, nice and bright, and it will stay like that. At sea, southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate seas. Turning to the tides, high tide at 10:10 p.m. with low tide at 4:43 a.m. Sunrise will be at 5:32. For tomorrow, beautiful weather to pass by. Don't we all just love it when the weather is suited? Tomorrow's temps, Sabu Sabu will be cool at 28 degrees. Great place with wonderful cool weather. Perfect for a swim. And looking further on to Friday, more fine weather to prevail just in time for the weekend. Well, that's all the weather news from here. Jackie is up next.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse, we asked, should Fijians keep fire safety equipment in their homes?
Everybody should be put the fire extinguisher in the kitchen.
It should, because in an event of a fire, it will be very helpful.
Human safety in the home because to prevent fires, because there's a lot of people who will die from fire. Homes will burn.
All Fijians should encourage to have fire safety equipment at their homes because they might never know what's going to happen. We can tell the future what's going to happen.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, PRB Flats occupants warned. Company told to redo road at own cost, and PM expresses joy at kids attending school. For these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Our poll question we're asking: should curfew remain for the rest of the year? Visit our FBC website to answer. And on to our shot of the day. The sea calm and collected during another beautiful sunset in the capital city, captured by Sonia Samara. And you can send us newsworthy pictures to email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj, via Facebook page FBC News and our Twitter page at FBC_news. That's the news for tonight. Until tomorrow, from the team and I, stay safe. Bye for now.
मैं तो दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी बहुत रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।